Hi, everybody from Yerushalayim. I want to share a story. Yesterday, my wife and I went with our son and his wife and the two kids to the biblical zoo. And on the way back, we were going through Shar Tzion. My son lives in the old city. And many of you might know that Shar Tzion is a very narrow 90-degree turn. And if you don't make the turn just right, you can either get stuck in there or certainly damage your car. But people who live in the old city, they kind of know how to do this turn. I personally would not even try to attempt it. And as you can imagine, during the holiday of Sukkot, Yerushalayim is teeming with people. Not only Jews, but non-Jews. The place is just packed, and it's beautiful to see. And as we're coming to Shar Tzion, there's a car that's stuck coming out of the old city. And instead of people trying to help this person maneuver and get out, people are just walking by the side of the car, and the poor person can't even move their car because they're afraid they're going to bump into people. Finally, there's a person gets out of his car and tries to help this person and try to manipulate the crowd. There are police officers walking in and out, no one's stopping, and I'm thinking, like, what is going on over here? My son's kids, they're in the car seats, they're getting a little impatient. My son and his wife do not lose their cool, and they stay very calm. And after a long while, the crowds are building up. There are cars behind my son that are building up. There are people trying to cut off my son to get ahead in line of him. It's like, I don't understand where they're going. My son gets out of the car. He tries to negotiate with people, but he's calm throughout the whole time. And I'm thinking, like, tell these people to get lost. I'm like, does anybody know that this lady's stuck in a car? Like, can they just try to help her? Eventually, some policemen come. They push away the crowd. And this is about 20, 25 minutes. Like, unbelievable. It's like you're just sitting there. There's nothing you can do. And the people are going in and out. They're looking. It's just so odd. Eventually, the car gets unstuck, and we make our way through Shar Tzion. Again, tons of people. And I looked at my son. I said, like, I'm so impressed. You didn't lose your cool. And he said, Dad, it wouldn't have helped. I wouldn't have gotten any quicker. So I've learned to be patient. And this reminded me of a Rashi in this week's Parsha Zos HaBracha, chapter 33, verse 19, about Zvulun, who will travel the world, and people will come to do business in Israel with Zvulun. And the Rashi brings down the Sifri that they'll say, we're this close, let's go to Yerushalayim. You've heard of Yerushalayim. And let's see the God that they worship, and they'll see that the Jews are different type of people, and they're going to be so impressed that they're going to convert. They're going to want to be closer to Judaism. That's the Rashi. That's the Sifri that Rashi brings down. And I thought to myself, that's what I saw in Eitan. You know, the people were pushing, trying to get by the car and so on. I don't know why they didn't stop and say, let's all try to get together and work this out. You know, maybe that's a new problem, that Yerushalayim is so filled with people, because it wasn't always that way. Nine weeks ago, we were sitting on the floor lamenting the destruction of Yerushalayim, and we would say Nachem and say, oh, the streets are desolate. Today they're not desolate. They're brimming with people, and thank God it's a good problem. And thank God there are so many people here. And it's a perspective to have. You know what? You can't get around. My son did not want to leave the old city that night again. He said, I can't deal with it. You know, once a day is good enough. But the point is, it's about Eitan, my son, exhibited a behavior that is so impressive. That's how you bring people closer to Hashem, showing that kind of patience. And he was right, that he wasn't going to get in any quicker. And it was nice, the fact that even Yerushalayim is busy and it is crowded, and everybody is trying to make their way and get online for food and get into activities and rides and so on. It's a really good problem to have. Thank God. I'd rather have that problem than it being empty. Anyway, that was my story from yesterday, Chol Hamoed. I wish everybody a beautiful day, a beautiful Yom Tif, and we'll be in touch.